first met Jeff at a carnival in Nelson.
Ali and I first met at a street music festival in Nelson.
And I had some juggling clubs in my backpack.
I thought that was kind of cool. I remember thinking this was a pretty groovy person.
And we had a chat. He was interested in the juggling clubs. At least that's what he said.
About 2 years after we met, again, randomly, we were both at the same party. Definitely approached her with a bit more intentionality, and then it was all on.
My favorite, physical thing about him.
Beard these days? Be something from the neck up, certainly.
I think his eyes when he smiles at me, or when he looks at me with love in his eyes, probably, yeah, I would say his eyes. At least one I can talk about on camera.
I think she thinks of me as a bit of a plush toy. That she just likes rubbing my fuzzy head and sometimes my fuzzy face. My favorite physical attribute of Ali's is I'd say her smile and her laugh. She's got a great kind of trumpety laugh.
Well, I think he likes my bum. I love how he's very balanced and fair, and he's a really good listener. And I'm a good talker, so a good listener is a good thing for me. He's also very caring, not just about me, but about everybody. He's very sensitive.
She likes that I'm pretty stable and balanced and keep my cool and can provide a sort of stabilizing element of her life to give her some freedom to go off and do some fun stuff. I like to treat her pretty well, and I think she appreciates that.
I'm quite good at connecting with people and making people feel comfortable quite quickly. I think he appreciates that. He's more reserved than I am. He is pretty goofy by himself, but I think I bring out more goofiness in him. So.
She's fun, she's tough, she's resilient, she's very accepting. Her brain works in beautiful, lateral, unpredictable ways that helps me see the world in new ways.
Wow, I don't know if there was a moment that I realised that I wanted to be with Jeff as a life partner. It was kind of gradual, and
I don't think there was a sudden moment of flash realization.
When I started to get to know him really properly and realised what a great guy he was, I definitely thought, yeah, he's a keeper.
It's all felt like a very natural, even-paced progression rather than any big sudden kind of lightning bolt moment.
And our trip to Scotland was pretty important in that I introduced him to my wider family, and he was really kind of calm and steady through our adventures in Scotland together and very supportive, and I knew before that we would be together at least for a very long time.
Definitely. I definitely remember our first kiss. Ali might tell the story a bit differently.
Our first kiss was quite an embarrassing moment. I think I turned into a 13-year-old.
It was at the end of our first date, which, as I say, was much more intentional, at least on my part.
We'd been on kind of a couple of dates, but this was our first proper kind of evening date, and we went out for a meal, and I was pretty sure that we were going to get together by this stage.
After a lovely dinner at a Mediterranean place in Nelson, I'd walked Ali back home to her house.
And took me out for dinner, and then we walked home by the river, and he walked me to my house, and I was thinking yeah, I'm sure we're going to kiss. We wanted dessert in the restaurant, but we talked for too long over the main course, so by the time we tried to order dessert, the kitchen had closed, and then we tried to find another restaurant for dessert, and everywhere was closed. When we got home, I sort of babbled something like, maybe I could find something sweet in the house for you or something. So Jeff said something like, that's okay. I just like a kiss or something like that.
Saw her to her porch and said that I wanted to kiss her. And she definitely indicated that she was keen for that, but she thought the porch light was too bright.
I suddenly realized that the porch light was on like right above my head, and I felt like I was on a spotlight. And I know a lot of people in Nelson, like I'm a teacher, and I was training a lot of volunteers at that time, and I suddenly felt really self-conscious. I felt like the whole of Nelson was dark and that I was just under this really bright spotlight.
So she insisted to she just pushed pause on that moment and then went inside and mucked around with the lights until she got the lighting somewhere satisfactory.
I just moved into that house, so it took me a little while, and when I came out I could see Jeff looked really confused, like, oh, does she want to kiss me or not?
And then came back out, and then we had our first kiss.
It was still a good kiss.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a great kiss.
But I think I was sort of giggling during our first kiss because I was so embarrassed of my behaviour, and I was a bit worried that I, just ruined the moment.
How did I propose? Again, it was funny. There was no sort of one moment where before that moment we weren't engaged and the moment happened then we were. That it wasn't quite like that. It happened on our trip to Scotland, which was in July 2015.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a concrete proposal. That's not really our style, and it's especially not Jeff's style. I mean, he's a pretty subtle and cautious and gradual kind of person, so I was used to that.
We were traveling around the country a fair bit on trains a lot, and we'd spend a lot of time, reading or listening to music or whatever, but we also spent a lot of time just having sort of silly nonsense conversations. And one of those discussions was, what would be your ideal honeymoon? How would that be different than a vacation, just a regular vacation? What would make it particular to a honeymoon?
We had conversations about what we thought about marriage as a concept and where might we go in our ideal honeymoon, which is a total fantasy because we would never spend so much money that it would be like some sort of ideal honeymoon.
And then talked about marriage theoretically, generally, and somewhere out of there the conversation kind of emerged that, yeah, we intend to stay together as a couple.
And then, yeah, we sort of checked each other's values out and views on it, and I guess I kind of told Jeff that I was a little bit traditional and I felt like the guy should make the move throughout the relationship, and he was like, no, I don't agree with that.
But sometime in that conversation we announced that we were pretty happy together and didn't really imagine being apart from each other.
And then he sort of said, well, yeah, I think when we're ready and when we feel grown up enough, we should have a big party and invite our friends and family. And I thought, yeah, that's good enough. It's a bit of a proposal. That'll do.
So we sort of committed to each other that we were a committed couple.
It felt like something. We sort of had a big hug and felt a bit special.
Well, if we're going to do it, let's have a party and have a ceremony and do it properly.
If we're going to do it, let's do it soon. And suddenly we were going to get married. And he was kind of like, oh, are you saying what I think you're saying? And I thought, maybe I misunderstood that whole conversation we had.
So then we got sort of more formally engaged and started planning the wedding.
Yeah, and then we only had 6 months to get ready.
Cliched getting on my knee with a ring moment, that didn't happen. It kind of just, like our relationship, evolved slowly over time.
Jeff, I want to tell you that as we're going through this process, sometimes it's challenging and I can get stressed out and anxious about what's happening or what's going to happen. You, as always, are a steady, supportive presence by my side.
Ali, I'm so glad that I get to marry you.
That's one of the things that I most appreciate about you.
And in the preceding weeks where things have got busier and busier with wedding plans. And I thought that we might be getting stressy and scratchy and a bit sick of each other. It's just, I've gotten more and more excited to actually be able to get up in front of the people that I love and declare to the world that I love you and want to be with you and want to build a life together.
It helps me know that, yeah, we're doing the right thing, and each day just seems to bring us closer.
I love you and want to be with you and want to build a life together. And I'm just really looking forward to what the future holds and building that life.
Jeffrey John Santa Barbara and Alison Joanne Morton look forward to a long and happy life together, in which their peace and contentment will be enlivened with a continuing sense of wonderment and many adventures. Now it is time for you to bind your lives together with rings of gold.
This is my mother's wedding ring. May it bring you as much joy and happiness as it brought her and your parents.
Ali and Jeff, this is a new ring. May it be a symbol of a new start in your life together.
With this ring, I take thee as my friend, as my beloved.
With this ring, I take thee as my friend, as my beloved.
The fountains mingle with the river, and the rivers with the ocean. The winds of heaven mix forever with the sweet emotion. Nothing in the world is single, all things by a law divine, in one another's being mingle.
Why not I with thine?
See the mountains kiss high heaven, and the waves clasp one another. No sister flower would be forgiven if it disdained its brother. And the sunlight clasps the earth, and the moonbeams kiss the sea.
What are all these kissings worth if you'll not kiss me? Try it again.
So you have chosen to bind your lives together. The binds are loose enough that you can move independently. The binds are close enough that the bond can support more than both your hands can carry individually. And so be it. Jeff and Ali have committed to living out their lives as husband and wife, to nurture their special relationship through life's changes, to rejoice and grieve as a family. And so it is. A new commitment, a new family, new joys, new challenges. Let us all rejoice.
call them while the heather grows, call them while the bunny rouse, my bonny dearie. Oh, hark the mavis evening sang, sounding Cluden's woods among. Then a folding let us gang, my bonny dearie. Oh, fair and lovely as thou art, thou hast stoned my very heart. I can die, but cannot part, my bonny dearie. O'er yon hill there lives a lassie, and her name I do not know. But tonight I will go and see her. Will she answer yes or no? Oh, lassie, I have gold and silver, and lassie, I have diamond store, and lassie, I have ships on the ocean,